I'm your realtor, Carl, and today I want to talk to you about something that people ask me about quite often. Buying a home, rent to own. Should you consider it? Maybe you should. But let's talk about some of those details and get a little bit more information on the subject so you can make a informed decision. So, some of the things I want to talk about. What is a rent to own or a lease option? How do they work? Why do people buy homes this way? Why do people sell homes this way? What are the pros and the cons? And what does your realtor Carl think? Well, let's talk about the first part. What is a rent to own or lease option? Well, a rent to own or lease option, those are the same thing, just with different terminology. Essentially, what you're saying is that you agree to rent the property until you can buy it. And you have the option to buy that property anytime within the agreed upon terms. So how do they work? Essentially, like I just said, you go into an agreement with the seller to say, hey, I'm going to buy your house. Let's say, for example, let's go to the board. Let's draw this up. Let's say you want to buy the house for $100,000, right? You're going to pay $100K. You're also going to have to put a deposit down, right? A lot of times some people will call this a lease fee or something of that nature. Let's say you have to do a $10,000 deposit as well. Let's say that house normally rents for $900 a month. Okay, that's rent. It's your down payment, and this is the purchase price. Okay, now a lot of times what'll happen is they'll charge you a lease option fee. The lease option fee is in addition to the rent, and is typically applied toward the down payment. So let's say they charge you an extra $200 a month for that. So now you'll pay that $200 lease fee. And let's say you agree for 2 years is the term of the lease. So you have 2 years to buy this house. Okay. So for 2 years, you're going to pay $1,100 a month in rent. $200 a month will get applied towards your down payment. So that's say, $4,800. So after 2 years or so of renting the house, you'll have about $14,000 that'll be applied toward the house. That's awesome, right? That's good. That's actually one of the things we're going to touch on later on. That's one of the pros of buying a house this way. So let's go back to one of the other questions. Why do people buy homes this way? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Typically, it's for one reason. Oops, if I can spell. That's not the word. That's not the letter. Poor credit is typically the reason why people buy homes this way. Because if you don't have the credit to get a mortgage right now, hey, you can put yourself in position to own a home without actually having the credit to do it right now, because you have the money to do it right now, because maybe your income is high enough. So why do people sell homes this way? Well, let's say for one, is to make money, of course. Most of the people who sell homes lease options are investors, and it's another investment strategy. And let's go into the pros and cons of buying a home this way, because that'll actually explain some of the reasons why you really should think twice before you consider making this purchase. So, what are the pros? Well, the pros are like I talked about before. When you look over here, hey, you got $10,000 down payment already, right? You've already added another $200 a month in your down payment. And what is that? That's, hey, a total maybe an additional $4,800 plus the $10,000 you already paid. That's your down payment. You have a down payment of almost $15,000. You put up $200 a month toward the purchase of the property. And let's just say you agreed to pay this $100,000 here, but what if the property value goes up? Let's say that $100,000 is now worth $120,000 for that property, and you agreed to pay $100,000. Not a bad investment, right? But let's talk about the cons. What if the market drops? You agreed to pay $100,000 for this house, but you're saying, hey, I'm gonna pay this $100,000, but now the house is worth $90,000. Do you still want to pay that price? Well, you can always go back to the seller to renegotiate, but will he agree? Maybe not. So, when I talked about the investor as a strategy to make money, well, here's an interesting fact you should know. Most people who go into a lease option or rent to own never actually purchase the property, and many investors know this. They teach these in seminars. I know because I attend a lot of investor seminars, and they teach this strategy because they know most people will not actually get their credit together within that 2-year window. And you're thinking, hey, what's the big deal? I don't get my credit together? Hey, I'll just get my money back. Well, that's the biggest con of all. And it actually may be a little bit of a con job. Because when you think about it, you're saying you're going to get your money back if you don't buy the home, but that's not the truth. In reality, you will not get your money back. You lose every penny that you've put into the property. Any upgrades or improvements you put into the property are gone. That $10,000 deposit down payment you made, that is gone. This extra $200 a month that you pay, that equals up $4,800, that is also gone. Now you're out almost $15,000 for a house that you cannot buy. And I've also heard of horror stories about a person buying a house this way, not knowing that the owner of the house was in foreclosure. They put down exactly this amount, $10,000 for the house. They paid $10,000 down payment. The house was foreclosed. Somebody shows up at the house and tells them they have to leave the property. The seller of the property, nowhere to be found. So, what does your realtor Carl think? I'm going to tell you what I think. I think you should steer clear. Because let's face the truth. If you have the money for a down payment, you have enough income for a down payment, but you don't have the credit, well, maybe that's putting the cart before the horse. You probably should fix your credit first. You would come out a lot better saving that additional $200 a month that you're paying and putting that in the bank so that the time is right for you to purchase a home, you'll have the money available to do so. Because most people, if their credit has been in trouble situation for say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, there's a good chance that they will not get it fixed in the 2-year window. And if you have the discipline to get it fixed in that 2 years, then you should have the discipline to also be able to save up that extra money on your own to purchase your house. Hey, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you like the information I just shared with you, please like the video. If you know somebody that you think this is helpful, this information can be helpful for, please share the video. Also, subscribe to my channel. That's somewhere down here. Just hit the button, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it. Hey, have a good day.